What's going on, guys? This was the October 4th, I believe, workout with deficit deadlift, some incline pressing, a couple of accessory movements, seated shoulder dumbbell press, uh, pull-ups, and I'm sure something else. But yeah, I was just getting warmed up here, and after I didn't record, but threw in the five or 7 minutes on the assault bike as well to get warmed up. Was also definitely pleased that the low back has really come a long way, and it's not really giving me much trouble. You never know with something where it's a low back injury, it could go on for months, or it could just be gone in a couple of days. Luckily, this was about a week and a half or so. Maybe there's still a little bit of residual there, but no belt here, and these didn't really give me any problems, so I was pretty stoked about that. And definitely with these deficits, the volume was starting to get to me after that 4 sets. So it's just like, man, like, sure hope that this isn't overdoing it on the back. But it was feeling good the whole time, so I just kept with it and kept the faith. And luckily, it felt fine the next day as well, so it was great. Also, you guys know this is probably the biggest pet peeve of mine of being at a commercial gym is putting away other people's crap. So don't be a lazy bastard. When you're done with your weights, put them away. It's nobody else's job to clean up after you. And here we are, just warming up into the incline pressing. Everything felt great. Definitely didn't think that the seat or anything was out of position. It felt fine at this point, but I guess I was just a little bit too far back because I ended up missing on the on my first set of the 240 by 4x4, as you will see shortly. Also, a lot of people are probably going to tell me that I'm not touching the bar to my chest and you're just doing it all wrong. No gains for you and all this other stuff. Everybody knows their own body, man. This is what works for me. I've been incline benching this way for a long time. I have a lot of inner elbow tendonitis, kind of bicep tendonitis right there. I have pretty big forearms, and it gets very pinchy for me if I go down much further than that and don't have a super wide grip. So listen to your body, do what works for you. Don't listen to idiots that aren't doing it alongside of you or giving you advice that's actually beneficial to you. Here, though, is some advice that is beneficial to you. If you start getting into your working sets, make sure that you have the safeties on. It is just a good idea, and it can prevent something that can be very minor from becoming a disaster. As you'll see here. Now, if those safeties hadn't been there, that would have been landing somewhere on top of me, or I would have been having to try to toss it out in front of me, and with the wife in the gym at the same time somewhere in front of me, that wouldn't have been very cool. So yeah, absolutely. If the weight is above you or in any way could come down on top of you, make sure that you have a plan for what you'd be doing if that was going to happen. Situations where the weight is under you, like pulling movements, like deadlift and things like that, where you can just drop the weight. I mean, if you're not using figure eight straps, which, I mean, outside of competition, there'd be no real reason to be using figure eights. So situations like that where you can just drop the weight, it's not as big of an issue. Or if you're on a machine and you can just drop it and the other, the safeties are built into the machine, you can load it up and go for it most of the time. But, when you're using free weights and they're above you or on top of you, there's a chance that you might be in a position where you cannot finish a rep, or they slip out of position and are headed your way short quickly. You better know what you're going to be doing in that situation. Always sucks kind of having a missed groove like that in the beginning, because every set after that is just like weird and tender, and you just don't feel secure in the movement, and you don't feel strong, and it just doesn't feel very good. And I already was, this is the third day of pressing in a row for me, so I already was probably a little in over my depth, and I threw on 5 pounds more than the program called for. So don't be like me. Just do the program and make sure that your setup is perfect before you get started. All said and done, though, considering there were no elbow sleeves or wrist straps, the rest of these felt great, and I think fresh off of a deload week and coming into a testing week, I think I'll do just fine and be able to push pretty hard and come up with some pretty big number when I'm all suited up, ready to go. So can't really complain. It all said and done wasn't so bad. Here I went into I think they were 3x8s at like 200 pounds roughly. And this is a close grip, which it may not look much like a close grip, but I can't come in much further than that without again, that inner elbow getting pretty pinchy. And I was supersetting that with these assisted pull-ups, which call me all the names in the world you want. These are assisted because I am a fat boy, and I am not sure that I could get anywhere close to 8 of those without the assist. So, yeah, judge all you want. Don't really give a shit. And it sucks because this is just another one of those movements where that inner elbow tendonitis, pretty much on both elbows, mainly more so my left, but both really, it just flares up. Anything like barbell rows, pull-ups, those pressing movements, if my arms are in a little bit too close, or I try to come in down too low, it just flares up. And we're always going to have those things where you just got to work around them and try to figure out what works for you. It's like some of that stuff, if you're lifting weights, it's just always going to be there. You're always going to have that one thing or those couple of things that you just are working around, and sometimes one of them will get better and something else will develop. Very rarely will you be just 100% where everything feels perfect. And if you're one of those people that is, God bless you. I wish it was me. And just finishing up here with the seated dumbbell presses. These were 75s. I think I was going for like 10 to 12 reps. I managed 12, I think, on the first 2 sets, and then like 9 on the last set, which, I mean, there wasn't very long ago I wouldn't have been throwing these 75s around for 8 reps, let alone 12. So I was pretty ecstatic, especially, like I said, after 3 days in a row of pressing. I just got done with the 4x4 and then the 3x8. So I really can't complain. My pressing's just better than it's ever been, especially the shoulder pressing. So I'm hoping I can just keep on building on that and just keep going on 6th week of a 12-week program. So we'll just kind of see where things get us to at the end. And yeah, pretty excited. These felt good. Also, if you're somebody that struggles with shoulder strength and overhead pressing, I mean, these dumbbell shoulder presses to me are just an absolute must-have in the routine. I mean, I hit these at least once a week, if not twice a week, and I've done that for many weeks and months. So yeah, if you want to get those shoulders bigger and stronger, incorporate some of those, and I promise you won't regret it. Just even AMRAPs, or at least 12 to 15 reps, and just challenge yourself to push the weights up a little bit and come up with a safe system of getting them to your shoulders, because sometimes swinging them around like that, you can go over backwards and potentially start pulling on ACs and rotators and stuff. So as long as you can do it safely and throw these in the mix, you won't regret it. But yeah, guys, that's all she wrote. Thanks for hanging out. Go out and get a workout in. Catch you all later.